I love her.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Oh, beautiful, full spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Patriots and Petticoats, it is my pleasure to welcome you aboard Flight 1776 with service to the United States of America and continuing service to a more perfect union. Federal regulations require that carry-on items are stowed prior to closing the aircraft door. Your items may be placed in an overhead compartment or completely under the seat in front of you. Use caution when placing items in or removing them from the overhead compartment, and let us know if we may assist you. In order to expedite the boarding process, please be seated as quickly as possible after stowing your items and take a moment to review the Constitution and Declaration of Independence located on the device in your pocket. If you are unable or unwilling to perform the functions as described on those documents, please let us know and we will find a more suitable destination for you. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to spending our evening with you. Good evening and welcome to Patriots and Petticoats. I am literally Heather. I have my two co-hosts with me, Chris and Eric from Patriot Sports Radio. Love them to death. How's football been, boys? You guys doing good?
Going by too fast. We're already in week 13, and there's
I know.
only
Are you sad? Are you about to be like sad?
It's to the part where I have to try not to think about it. Yeah.
We haven't done a show when the season ends, have we?
Not this one, no.
We have to. We'll go into mourning for a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll have sad shows.
Yeah.
And then we have to fucking crawl the fucking dirtiest driest desert of the off season.
A real sport.
Oh God, it's hard.
Yeah, then we
at the
then
end,
we go
come
right
August,
into
you're like trying to get to the oasis. Oh, the desert of the off season.
Yep.
Stretching
After a few
for
days,
water.
I'll start watching some college hoops, pull myself out of it.
Yeah.
What's up, Patriot 4165?
What's up, Kevin Burkett? Good to see you, man. What did you stumble on? Just a couple friends talking about all the bullshit that's going on in the world. We're glad
Joe
to have you
Biden
here.
81st birthday celebration. That's what this is.
Text says, hi, Chris
what
and
up,
Eric.
brother?
Hi, Heather. Looking fabulous. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Kevin, welcome to the shit show. We're excited to have you. Okay, gentlemen, what do we want to start with?
You
do
go.
we want to start with?
You pick it.
Oh, I get to pick?
Well,
okay.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yep.
First up, we've got the NFL needs to speak out against the Kansas City Chiefs fan in blackface, native headdress. They're doubling up on the racism. Are you going to say anything, Roger Goodell? Okay.
This is the guy who wrote an article that too many white people in his neighborhood was problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, first of all, okay. So like Deadspin, the spin stops here. No spin. But yet you take a fucking side profile picture of a kid and try to call him a racist. And
that's exactly spin.
Mention he's got the other half of his face painted red. Like, how ridiculous is that? Kevin says, let's fucking go. Let's go, bro. Bradley says, what it do, Heather? Good to have you here, my man. Okay.
This is some race bait and shit. I mean,
Yeah.
they are fucking grabbing at straws right now. Anything that they can push out in the media that doesn't have to do with the fucking economy, the polls. Eric's fucking excellent take of the day on Twitter about the fucking when Trump was in office, it was always a December to remember, and everybody got a Lexus. And now it's like 7 out of 10. What is it? 7 out of 10 friends and family do not want to do a gift exchange.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so real quick before we go, I want to dive into that stat real fast. But
Yeah.
I have not seen. What's up, Matt? I have not seen
Deadspin
one.
needs to be legit. Sorry,
I haven't seen one commercial of like the wife getting her Lexus with the big red ribbon on it. Like I haven't seen a single one of those this season.
I have seen one.
Okay.
And they walked out and it wasn't around the fucking car. It was the craziest shit. It was still the same family that walks out of the nice house, but it's the kid walks with him, and then he opens up the car that looks kind of new. I was like, oh, okay, and pulls out the glove box, a fucking Matchbox car with a bow around it. And it was like an old school something, and gave it to the kid. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Eric was
Kevin
right.
said these same stupid ass people are the same that got my Miami Redskins mascot changed back in early 2000s. So that's another thing. I was watching the Chiefs play, and they were doing their
for some reason Chiefs fans are allowed to do that. Other fans get called
they're
out.
the only team that has been able to keep their fucking name and their appropriation.
There's two, right? And two of them
the
do
Braves
it. And it's the Braves in Atlanta and Kansas City. And the reason why they're allowed to do it is because they just do it.
Yeah.
They don't give a, they just do it.
That is.
And guess what? If Washington Commanders would have just said no, they'd still be the Washington Redskins.
Who fucking changes their name to Commanders? This is a terrible name.
Of what? What are we?
Matt said because they're winning. It will be interesting if they stop winning. Do they get forced to change their name?
What does Taylor Swift say about it? I mean, this hits on so many fucking different levels.
Yeah, we need her take on that.
Because Travis Kelce fucking got on his knees and put the woke cock in his mouth last year, and now look at him. I can't stand it.
I will say Travis Kelce doing that vaccine commercial was pretty disappointing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, and don't get me effing started on Chief Wahoo, originally from Ohio. NFL won't let the righteous libs ruin the reputation of their most popular and profitable team.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, you know what else, though? The real fucking story around the Chiefs this year is not this fucking kid. Who is it, Eric? It's Chiefsaholic. The dude that fucking, he was like
robbed the banks
fan that robbed banks in Oklahoma to keep season tickets, to keep his like super fandom. Nobody writes about that except for Patriot Sports Radio. And then here we get this race baiting fuck trying to ruin this fucking child's life. I hope that, man, you know what? Here, people don't get punched in the face anymore. That's our fucking issue. Sorry, rant over. Old man, I'm going down. I'm already get off my lawn. And we haven't even started.
I'm already get off my lawn. Washington's only acceptable name for the Redskins would have been the Washington War Pigs.
Yep. Did you know the Cleveland Indians were originally the Cleveland Spiders, and then they had the first ever Native American player on their team, and then they had two more. There were only 3 in all of baseball, and they were all on the Cleveland Spiders. So they said, "Hey, we should call them the Cleveland Indians," and then they did. And now we've wiped that out completely because we decided it's racist without even trying to learn the story.
Well, what's really crazy,
they should have been the socialist.
They're erasing all representation. That's what's fucking wild.
That's what's happening.
So like Land O'Lakes butter, right? Uncle Ben's rice. All of the places where minorities had representation, they are wiping it out.
Yeah,
you no longer have teams representing any other. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's like the alphabet.
It's like a revolution.
Women out.
It's like a revolution or something.
You say you're for equality.
Man.
Oh my God, it's so bad that I read this message in like the jokey way that you wrote it. I was like, hey ya. I'm received wisdom from flying eagle beyond the clouds to say avoid running buffalo. I fucking hate you, Fox. You're so stupid.
That's what's wrong. That's why Mahomes keeps getting sacked. He's not fucking avoiding the running buffalo coming up the middle.
Heavy steps. I'm here so Heather can tell me what gun I need to buy, bro. I have got. Listen, if you are not, you are following me on Twitter. You need to go buy the HK that I just posted yesterday. It's a 9mm. It's still on sale today. It's on my Twitter feed. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll DM it to you privately. But it's like a hell of a deal if you're looking for a handgun. Highly recommend. Okay, I'm sorry. Thanks, Heavy Steps, for letting me plug. But which, by the way, okay, I'm going to announce it on Patriots and Petticoats, gentlemen. I have officially hit my end of year goal as of yesterday. So I'm like personal goal that I made with being an affiliate partner with Palmetto State Armory. I have officially hit my goal for the end of the year. So I'm very excited. I got just
out of the park. Right out of the park. Just
Kevin says when my son's little league team was the Indians, he pitched the stupid C hat the league gave him. He wanted Chief Wahoo, so I bought several. So did the coaches.
Print a gun.
Yeah. And then Tex. Thank you, Tex. I appreciate it. It is very much and thanks to people like you who purchase on a regular basis. So, okay, back to the story real fast, though. Chris, you had mentioned ruining this kid's life. This reminds me of the Nick Sandman situation where he was in that crowd and they showed that picture of him like kind of like smirking or whatever. And that Indian chief was in front of his face yelling at him and they called him like a racist and all of this horrible shit. He won massive lawsuits against these media organizations for defamation.
This kid's going to have a huge lawsuit.
I hope
that guy, but that was like a political move on both sides, right? This kid's just sitting at an NFL game.
Yeah.
This isn't political. He's not at a fucking anything. This is a fucking football game.
Yeah.
Well,
and 10 years ago, every kid looks like this at the Chiefs Stadium.
Yep.
My favorite arms dealer. That's the fairy gun mother.
Yeah. There's a second part to this, though, that's really fucking frustrating for me. Is this line, this subheading that's on here where it says they're doubling up on the racism. Are you going to say anything, Roger Goodell? So this bully class of individuals where they think that they can like push and manipulate people into their feelings, like you must do something because I feel some type of way.
Yep.
That is probably for me the most frustrating thing.
Yep. And it's been working. So why wouldn't they keep trying it?
Right. And so will we see, like, will Roger Goodell cave? Or will we see some pushback against this where he's like, look, it's a kid at a fucking game, leave him alone.
Yeah. No. Patrick Mahomes is the golden boy. He doesn't want this conversation to happen.
Yeah.
He's just not going to talk about it.
I feel like Karen Phillips, the author of this article, should be shamed out of ever writing again.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy Step says this is going too far. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh yeah, ridiculous. This is. I have nothing to write about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stretch. Like he's just reaching for straws.
Yeah.
Or her,
well,
whoever.
It's almost like the Trump effect, right? You can't talk about Kansas City without talking about Taylor Swift at this point. Mm-hmm. It's not even about Kansas City anymore. It's about
Mahomes is playing like shit.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That doesn't help.
Fair point. Okay, what do I got next? The United Nations is going to call
I'm sorry,
on
hang
Americans.
on. Just a second. I feel bad for saying Patrick Mahomes is playing like shit. Because really, he's putting that ball exactly where it needs to be. And his receivers just dropped the fucking pass.
Yep, they do.
So let me rephrase that. He's got bad receivers right now.
Heavy says this is woke. So that's a very good point. And if you don't want woke sports bullshit, you can go to Patriot Sports Radio. So make sure that you are
You
following
will not
them.
find that there.
PatriotSportsNow.com. Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Yeah. And then I couldn't remember if it was PatriotSportsRadio.com or now.com. I even designed the website. Okay.
She did.
So the United Nations is now going to call on Americans to reduce their meat consumption.
No, they're trying to normalize. They're trying to get us used to the United Nations telling us what we should do.
Yeah. So
I'm not having it at all.
Like, it just made me want to go buy a steak.
Yes. I'm having steak tomorrow, 100%.
Yeah, and so I have like the come and stake it, like the come and take it logo or whatever, a little spin on that. But my frustration here is the idea, and it's under the guise of like climate change.
Planet. What do you hate the planet?
Yeah, you hate the planet? Don't eat meat.
Do you hate all the kids who haven't been born yet? You're a monster.
Heavy.
I love Texas barbecue. Beef is delicious. I'll buy you a steak. Thank you, Argento. Love you so much. Which, by the way, can we just talk for a moment about how professional your YouTube profile picture looks in comparison to any other social media picture that I've ever seen you post? So
there's not even a hooker or any cocaine on it.
There's no hookers. There's no cocaine. There's no amputees. There's no midgets. It is 100% clean. I am shocked. Heavy Stuff says, taking food from me is like taking a gun from Chris. No way it's happening. I'm not going to cut down on chicken breast or fish either. No. I'm not even going to say what that emoji is. I'm doing my part for the environment by reducing the cow population on my plate.
Correct.
Jake says, I'm going to save the planet by eating the animals that are farting and destroying the ozone. See? Yeah, absolutely. They're already rationing our food by making a chicken breast cost $10.
Exactly.
It's a fact.
So,
that's what they're doing.
It's been a good deer season. That's what I've
guys,
been hearing around Wisconsin.
Bidenomics says that inflation has cooled. We're good. Americans are in the best situation that we've been in since 2020.
Yeah, see, they did need a better. It was just messaging for sure. Because now that they've said that, I feel way better.
Yeah, I do.
Right?
I have way more money now just hearing that.
Yeah, they're not going to win. They can't win unless they cheat this time. There's no way. It's changed.
I've been talking to and it's weird because I have girlfriends that are not political and certainly don't want to talk politics with me because
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second.
All right.
And these women are starting to, for the first time in our friendship, which has been pretty long, like 7 to 8 years, they're starting to actually talk about the pain that they're feeling grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think it's manifesting itself because you have Christmas coming too. So this is the first time they're paying the mortgage for Christmas presents for 2 kids, for dance or cheerleading or whatever, groceries, car
I can tell you nobody's getting anything awesome around here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so well, I'm not going to talk about it because she goes and watches these videos. I have to be careful on here because she has access to YouTube and she'll go back and watch Patriots and Petticoats. She'll go listen to my podcast. And I'm like, why are they letting you listen to this at school?
My kid won't do any of that till I'm dead.
Heavy says, when I can't spend less than $20 at Taco Bell, that means the economy sucks. Do you guys remember the $5 box? The $5, and it's now $6.99. Like the same number of items, the same stuff. It's now
it's smaller too. The chips are smaller, the portions are smaller, everything's a little smaller.
That's how I gauge the economy, Taco Bell prices. I feel bad for retired people on fixed incomes. Yes. and not just, I mean, I feel bad for anyone in the middle class. Like, just look at, and then they raised the amount of money that they're taking on your taxes. But I remember distinctly hearing the words, if you make less than $400,000, you won't pay a dime more in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
you lied to me.
Yeah.
Like a fucking politician. Tech says no more dollar menu at McDonald's.
Yeah. Nope. No more.
Hey,
No
you
more
know what
$1
though?
McDonald's.
A family of 4 at McDonald's is about the same as it was Applebee's 4 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Applebee's is what like your
Texas
steakhouse.
Roadhouse was. Yeah.
Well, not even a chain steakhouse, but your like local nicer steakhouse. And then
Yeah.
I mean, and then that a millionaire is not good anymore. Like that's middle class, and now like we're
Ooh,
more like it's like shifted. Like it's just so everything that happens, they just stretch the fucking gap between them and us.
Like 70
But
to
people are
80
waking up.
feels like lower middle class.
People are waking up because let me tell you, what did Disney's lost like 56% of its worth in 1 year.
Yeah.
138 million down the drain this year. Like people are over it. I can see the shift. I can see it.
I wish I had saved the video for our show today, but did you guys see the clip of Cardi B going off on Joe Biden?
Yes, I did.
And
we really are fucked right now.
Yeah.
Here's another really bad thing that happened.
She was tricked, just like everybody else in her generation.
Hold on, Chris, because I think what you're about to say is the next video I'm going to show. So let me show this video real fast, and then I'll come to the chat here in just a second, because I want to show this to you guys. This, you talking about the tide is changing, it's turning. This for me is probably the biggest indicator that I've seen so far. Black Lives Matter chair out of, God, I wish I could remember. I think it's one of the M states, Maryland, Maine, one of those states.
You, BLM leader, and you're now endorsing Donald Trump, saying he's the best candidate we have. Why do you think he is the best candidate that we have?
Because everybody else sucks.
So is he just the best of a bad group? I mean, is he not that great either, but he's just like better than the rest?
Well, I like Trump, personally. And I think right now who we have sitting in the Oval Office is just a deep disappointment. I deeply have disdain for him. And I really dislike the vice president as well.
What is it that why do you not like them versus like Donald Trump?
What did they do to him?
I would imagine you're alone in this. Do you feel alone in this viewpoint in the world that you're in, being in the BLM movement?
No, I feel like the tide is starting to turn. I feel like a lot of Black people are starting to pivot off of that Democratic plantation for so long. We've been slaves to that party. Actually, we've been mental slaves. Afraid to get off of that plantation because, we've been used and abused for so long at that party. They don't value our vote. Their policies are basically racist policies.
Yeah.
And I believe it's a racist party that strikes at the heart of the Black family and the nuclear family in general. And I believe Donald Trump he's the opposite. He's going to tell you how it is. He's going to give it to you straight. He's not going to, be a hypocrite and stab you in the back like the Democratic Party loves to do.
He saw behind the curtain and they did something to him.
Yeah.
He's scorned.
Well, that, and there's been a few things that have happened, I think. Elon Musk buying X is a huge one. Because now we can talk about it. So I think that they kept us so disenfranchised by just fucking murdering accounts and speech last time. This was already kind of I think everybody was kind of separated. People are Elon is allowing people to speak freely, pretty freely, I think, or whatever. I don't want Fox to get all mad
Be
at me.
careful. I was going to say Fox is in here
But-
watching right now. So
But I'm just saying that what I'm saying is that is enough now that there's a platform where conservatives can say what they. So we started saying it, and now it's starting to become counterculture, right?
right.
Cardi B, right? So now people are starting to feel like, okay, I can actually say what I'm feeling now and not get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
What do you think? And I think there's that mixed with he saw what the fuck was happening, how the sausage was getting made.
Yeah.
And then people like Cardi B, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, there's a lot now have made it okay to just talk.
And you have to carry so many lies and spin so many plates to be part of that
Yeah,
team.
and social media is really, if you don't have your fucking thumb on the social media, if the government doesn't have its thumb completely on it, you can't stop all of it.
Ooh,
But
we're
these
gonna talk
young
about
people,
that tonight too.
But
these
they're gonna
young people that the Democrats rounded up to vote, they don't have hope anymore. They don't feel like they have a future. I read what one
And
of these people said when Milei, is that how you say it, was elected in
Javier
Argentina.
Milei.
They said he represents a future for young people like me. Massa was everything that's wrong with their country. We had no future with him. And I feel like that's what the 20-somethings feel like now. They don't have a future with whatever this guy's doing.
so here's another problem that Biden's going to run into. When he ran last time, they hadn't had 4 years of him. All he was is hope, right? And they fucking wore the fear porn out, boy, to get him in there. And it worked. And they got him in there, whether they cheated or whatever. That's another discussion, but they got him in there. But now we've had 4 years of Trump and we've had 4 years of Biden. And
we can do the Pepsi
and these
challenge
kids
now.
can do pretty good math on what kind of iPhone they could have bought then versus what kind of iPhone they could buy now, right?
How often mom and dad say no now to stuff?
Yes, that's my kids. They'll tell you they'll tell you this isn't Trump's America. We have to pick and choose.
Yep. You got to get drumsticks or ice cream sandwiches, not and.
Yeah, there's no more ands.
Okay, I'm going to go through some of these chats real quick if you guys don't care, because we've got some over on Rumble too. It says, hey, y'all,
Right on.
fuck Joe Biden and his failed Christmas tree. That's really
Patriot.
funny. Get an AR, heavy steps, and then 300 blackout, yes, from Palmetto. I just got another freezer. It's halfway filled. Why did I
Nice.
think steps was woke? The Argentine prez will bust some ass and do great things down there. We'll
Yep.
see if they let him. You know, I could see funding being cut off. I could see diplomatic ties being severed solely to make him or put him in a position where he will fail with any policies he wishes to drive forward.
Yeah. And it's still, there's no single block having a majority. So he'll need to get backing from all kinds of factions to push anything through. So he's
Yeah.
going to have to play nice to some degree, but he says he's going to ditch the peso, get on the American dollar. Party's over. We're done. You know, it's sort of like what's happening up here. This political system is set up for you and your friends to get rich.
Right. Okay. Heavy Step says a freaking taco is $1.79.
What?
The rent is too damn high.
Is that
Where's the rent is
real?
too damn high guy? Is he still alive?
We
Because
used to
the
have
rent is
49
too
cent
damn high.
tacos. 49-cent tacos. What are they now?
$1.79.
$1.79.
That's almost 4 tacos.
Or a Taco Bell taco?
Yeah.
And you
How
know
the
that's
fuck do
not
kids-
that's barely a taco.
That's why my kids are so good and they're not out getting stoned going to Taco Bell at 2 a.m. You just simply can't afford it. All right, Joe.
No more 3 Arby's roast beef for $5. I don't even
No. Once upon a time, it was 5 for $5.
remember $5 footlongs without Vivek being cheap with pickle and olive oil. Oh, Fox hates Vivek. I'm curious to see how the nonprofit organizations did on today's day of caring. That will be really interesting to see. How much did they bring in? Because the charitability of people ends when they don't have it to spend for themselves. So that very good point, Argento. Tex says now Chick-fil-A is like $35 for 3 sandwiches of their pleasure.
Oh man.
Kevin said, been watching for a few years. They're shrinking cereal boxes,
they
for
are.
example. Same front dimension, so it looks the same on the
Thinner.
shelf, but thinner and less volume, hiding inflation from consumers.
We've been weighing it as it's been going since about 3 years now.
This guy's speaking truth. How about Dom? I don't know how to say his last name. Lucre. Getting strong armed as an influencer.
Wait, I missed that, Argentina. I missed it. What happened?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send
Can
me
you
a
come
link or
on?
something.
Yeah, can you send him a link? Would you come on, brother? I'd love to hear about that.
Argento, you want to come on to Patriots and Petticoats? I'll send you a link.
Tell us the story.
Wait, are you talking 2019 Trump or 2020 Trump? Is
What
there
Trump?
a difference?
We had a December to remember in 19 and 20, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So next up. Okay, I do want to bring this up just real quick because I think it's funny. So House GOP lawmakers who decided that they were not wearing the masks are now taking it to court. And specifically, and I have the article pulled up because I just really thought it was really funny, and maybe I actually did not keep it up, but because I wanted to know so Thomas Massey is one of the 3 lawmakers, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then there's one more that I can't remember, but they're taking this to the Supreme Court because their pay was docked $500 for every single violation. And they're saying that it's unconstitutional because it has to go through like the next election before you can change the pay of a politician. So they're trying to get their money back. But I thought that this is really just so rich that all of the nurses that got pulled out of their jobs because they didn't wear the masks or take the shot or whatever, but politicians can go directly to the Supreme Court and be like, give me my money back.
Fast track.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Fox says we are living in his economy. Biden is just maintaining it.
Yeah.
You're right. I will not defend Trump in regards to the massive amounts of spending that he thought it was a great idea for.
No. It was
Argento is naked.
No.
So
okay.
That bad idea.
Trump did a lot of bad things. But I think he'll go in there and just clean house out of spite now, and we could use that right now.
Oh, no. Massey is actually arguing it violates the Constitution outright, and anything that takes money out of his paycheck is a violation of the Constitution.
I mean, I'd say that too.
Fox also hates Thomas Massey, so just...
Wow. Hey, Fox, who does Fox like?
Nobody. Fox does not
McConnell.
like, except me. Fox likes me because we're friends, but that's it.
McConnell and McCarthy? Are those
No,
boys?
he doesn't like anybody. He hates everyone.
Did you know?
Fair. As long as you're equal opportunity hater, then I'm all in.
What's up?
I'm like that too.
That Biden and Mitch McConnell are the same age. I was looking up some stuff because it is his 81st birthday. So I thought that we should pay some tribute to him. 18 years younger than Jimmy Carter, who is a fucking 100. The number 1 song in 1942 when he was born was Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller and his orchestra. The number 1 moving picture was Bambi, followed closely. Actually, Bambi crushed Yankee Doodle Dandy. Bambi made about 55 million. Yankee Doodle.
Wow. That's a lot.
13. Did you know in 1942, when our current president was born, you could get a brand new Ford Super Deluxe 2-door sedan for $920?
What?
Yeah. You have to go back 5 presidents to find a guy who was born before him. Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton, all younger. He was older at inauguration than any president ever was at the end of his term. Only 5 presidents have lived, only 9 presidents have lived to be as old as he is right now
This is
in their
such
entire
a
life.
sad diatribe that you are going through right now. It is the most depressing thing I think I've ever listened to.
Oh, he's got more.
No, I know. He's already
the
like I can
oldest
tell when Eric gets fired up. Like he starts shifting and he's like he breathes a certain way. Like he's
just ready to reach through the camera and be like, "Vote better, motherfucker!" Like just
seriously. You know, and the thing that I posted on Twitter today, the 7 out of 10 families don't want to give presents to each other. That's somebody I know for a fact has voted for a Democrat every single time. It's like they don't even make the connection.
I don't think even I have reached that point. I don't think I've reached the point where I'm like, I don't want to give my family gifts.
No.
It's not that we don't want to, it's that we can't afford it. And it's uncomfortable to say, listen, it's just not in the budget this year. We would every single time it's been in the budget, we're all in, but now we're choosing food.
Right.
Literally.
And you know what? Maybe not everybody here is, but there is a lot of America that is choosing food over presents. A lot more than there was last year and the year before that and the year before that. So
And
that is going to show up at the polls, because guess where the Democrats he said it. The plantation. He said it.
Are you really going to get in your car and drive down to City Hall and wait in line for 45 minutes to fill out the paperwork to ask if you could please have 4 more years of this?
Yeah. Like who's saying that isn't being paid to say it? And I mean that like genuinely. Your Harry Sissons, your all of those guys, like they're being paid to promote Joe Biden. Cardi B was last year. That's why she did that whole fucking dog and pony show with Joe Biden. That wasn't because she believed that. It was because she was paid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, fuck that. I am not endorsing anyone moving forward. Y'all fucking suck.
Because probably the people that she grew up with are coming to her like, hey, what the fuck? We are poor right now.
Her own family in the Bronx. Yeah. They're cutting our school funding.
And they're busing in these migrants and handing them our money in front of our fucking faces. Yeah. And they're telling us to fuck off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jonathan
Social Security is $1,400. These cards they're giving out are $22.
I apologize, Eric. Go.
These cards they're giving the refugees they're getting $2,200 a month. Social Security is $1,400. These people have put nothing in the system.
Nothing.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the money that we're giving the UN to give to Ukraine and stuff in their pocket and whatever, the UN is taking that money and putting it on cards that all of our friends from the southern border have in their pockets, and they're being reloaded every month with $2,200 of your labor, while people on Social Security who have worked their entire lives and then retired are getting $800 less.
1,400.
Yes. That's the system.
You knew that. You didn't know that?
No.
That was brought up in Liberty Happy Hour, I thought.
Oh shit, my battery's dying. I don't know where my cord is.
It's right here.
Oh no.
His computer cord is there?
Well, one of them is. I think the janky one's here. It's probably in your backpack.
Right, Mark LaRue of LaRue Tactical blocked QP within hours of him getting on Twitter. Nobody is surprised by that fact. He's gonna have a hard time on Twitter, I think, after everything that's happened. Mark LaRue.
Who's Mark LaRue?
The owner of LaRue Tactical.
I don't know that. Never mind.
Cool needs to be a refugee. Yes, he does.
Yes.
Sweet. Oh, well, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. I was getting ready to give him some props, but I don't know if he wants that public. So
the face of losing right there.
Yeah, the face of a loser. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this to you guys.
I would never fucking be my fucking 14-year-old's travel team softball coach.
So for those of you that don't know, I can't imagine that any of you don't, but this is Ronna McDaniel and the CEO of Home Depot. And this is his direct quotes. He said, I urge my fellow Democrats, Republicans, and independents to put their love for America above all else. I urge the Republican National Committee to end the Republican debates that only benefit ad makers and political consultants. They are unproductive and embarrassing. Marcus also wrote that he hoped it was time for me to move to the sidelines, and yet younger generations continue to fight to preserve America's founding freedoms and values. But like so many of us, I realized that I could not let myself walk away. The stakes are too high. We cannot let the America we see today be what we leave to our children and grandchildren, he added, noting issues of inflation, illegal immigration, and rising crime in cities across the nation. We're going to get to that tonight, too. I understand the frustration of some of my Republican friends who do not like or are offended by things Donald Trump does and says. I, too, have been frustrated at times, but we cannot let his brash style be the reason we walk away from his otherwise excellent stewardship of the United States during his first term in office. Now is the time for unity to save the American dream for future generations, Marcus wrote. Marcus endorsed Trump for president, saying, I endorse him not only because he has the best chance of winning the general election, but because he is the best person to take on and dismantle the administrative state that is strangling America. So,
correct. Do you
some
think
of
they
that
kill him?
I will take a little bit of disagreement with. If he was the best person to destroy the administrative state, he would have done it his first time in office. And so my hesitancy with Trump
Rand Paul
personally
is the guy for that.
Do what?
Rand Paul is the guy for that.
Yeah, I don't see, unless he has learned and made relationships with people who can come in and do these things that he's promising, I don't see how another term would be any different for Donald Trump. However, with that being said, we are in a position right now where none of these other contenders are coming even anywhere close to him from a polling perspective. Now, there are arguments that are made that polling is designed that way because, you know, they don't want the Ron DeSantis's to take off, and that could be a better option for the country. And so and then Chris Christie gave an interview today. Did you guys see this where he's like, I'm gaining ground or whatever? Did you guys see this?
No. Did he mean wait? Did he mean wait?
It for you guys because I'm so fucking
That's
money.
who the UN's talking
New Hampshire
about.
said
talking about
they are open.
Say it again, Chris.
That's who they're talking about when they're talking about we need to fucking chill out on the meat. They're talking about some individuals like Chris Christie, not us.
Yeah.
He's gaining ground. Yeah, motherfucker. I'm sure
he's gaining ground.
Trump's voters in New Hampshire said they are open to changing their minds between now and primary day on January 23rd. So, you know, I know everybody wants to make this race over now, but it's not over, and it's not even close to over. And when you just look at the history, forget about predictions. Let's look at what's happened over time. And what's happened tells you that there's a long way to go here, and I like the fact that we're gaining momentum now.
It does.
Yeah, okay. The Donald Duck thing didn't work, dude. Pack it up. Save your money.
Okay, before I transition to a couple other things, I want to go.
Hey, and Jake's right about all of that.
I know. I'm getting ready to get to him, but I want to go back to Rumble real quick.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. There's a couple people on here, and I just don't want to make them feel left out. Patriot says, Deer chili is way better than all that fast food garbage anyway. Warren G said they blame the war in Ukraine on food inflation. They say because of wheat exports, got nothing to do with food grown in the Ukraine and everything to do with funding weapons. Patriot said fuel prices are in effect as well. Logistics. Trump was going to drop the ball on central bank. I remember mom giving me $1 and sending me to the store to get her a pack of smoke and some candy, and I was only 10. It's so funny. I told that same story or a similar story at Thanksgiving, and my mom wanted to pretend she didn't send me to the store when I was like 13 years old in the car driving down the road to go get her cigarettes. Like, that's what country life was like.
In fact, we didn't even carry the cash. They just wrote it on a fucking note card.
Yeah.
Where I was from. They had like the index cards, you know, they pull out.
And they had like their,
My dad would run by once a month to pay the bill.
Yeah. Jonathan says baby backed. Argento says guarantee Cardi B will endorse Big Mike. Same Tootsie Roll, different rapper as Biden. Tex says, come down to Texas. We'll go into Mexico and swim back over and ask for asylum and get free flights and cell phones.
I've thought about it.
I wonder if it's possible. Can we give away our American citizenship, go out of the country, and then come back as a refugee or
and be in Harvard tomorrow?
And be in Harvard. Yeah, go get my education paid for. When were the polls right? Never. Which is why I made that point. Trump needs to put up or shut up. He'll never get a lot of the things we would want past Congress, but administratively, he needs to go nuclear with anything within his constitutional authority. Jake says that fucker owns the lockdowns. He owns massive spending. He opened the door for the most recent rash of gun control measures. If they want unity in the Republican Party, then they can dump Trump. He also said Chris Christie is gaining fat, not momentum.
Yeah.
Kevin said if he reaches critical mass, we're all doomed. He's about to develop his own gravitational field. Chris Christie hydrates with heavy water. Oh, that's great. Okay. So next thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys, hold on. I want to go back to this real quick. We didn't finish talking about this. So we now have the large donor class is starting to like kind of flex themselves at Ronna. So there are threads, like if you go look at anything talking about like why the GOP isn't doing well or whatever, I have never in all Twitter, all my time here, I have not heard one single person say anything good about Ronna McDaniel. No one, nowhere. No one is defending her. No one is saying she's doing a great job. How does she continue to have resounding support for her position?
Because Trump endorsed her. It's just, that's it.
So whose fault is it that the Republicans are losing?
Trump's.
Yeah.
I mean,
but nobody wants to admit that or talk about it.
Well, I think a lot of people do in roundabout ways, but nobody's direct with it. Like, say, Jake was just now when he typed that out. He was direct with that. Like, this is how it is. This is concrete. And then Biden ran with it, right?
Yeah.
And it was really like, I mean, what a hard fucking run. It was like the Bush and then Obama and then Trump didn't help it. And then right into Biden, like it's just been a rash of pissing on the Constitution. Just everybody pulled the cocks out and started pissing. But I guess that's probably been going on for a long time. But that's for me, you know, what I remember. That's my age group, I guess.
Fox says the political class doesn't care about it. Social media. So, okay. I don't necessarily disagree with that. But like even in my personal life, even the people who I know who are part of like the GOP, because I've worked on campaigns and all of that stuff, those people also hate her. And those are GOP officials, GOP individuals. Like I'm trying to figure out where she's getting her support to continue to be reelected and why she feels that she doesn't have to answer to anyone for her decisions and failures. Okay. I have this. Oh, Eric, you wanted to talk about Javier Milei. So I do have this video real fast that I wanted to play.
Nosotros no somos más que nuestros representados. En términos financieros es el derivado, el activo derivado nunca vale más que el subyacente. El derivado existe porque existe el subyacente. Nosotros, existimos como representantes del pueblo porque existe el pueblo. Y es una locura, es un delirio arrogarse que un representante del pueblo es más que el propio pueblo. Es un delirio, es el delirio en el que vive la casta política. Entonces, en nuestro gobierno, los políticos van a tener que vivir la misma vida que vive el ciudadano común. Van a tener que internalizar el resultado. Van a tener que internalizar el resultado. Y si se mandan bacanas, no solo van a sufrir los argentinos de bien, van a sufrir más los políticos. Van a tener que vivir como viven los argentinos de bien. Se les acabó los privilegios, se acabó la joda. Y esto solamente lo puede hacer un outsider, lo puede hacer un tipo que viene de afuera, y no cualquier tipo de outsider, porque está llena la historia de outsiders que se meten en estructuras preexistentes. Nosotros somos outsider, porque somos outsider sin estructura precedente, que la construimos para esto. ¿Para qué? Para sacarlos a patadas en el culo. Se acabó la joda, se acabaron los privilegios de la política, se acabó. Una Argentina distinta es imposible con los mismos de siempre. Basta de la joda, se les terminó la joda y por eso me quieren exterminar. Por eso me mandan a los 200 fracasados. ¿Sí? Por eso me mandan a los pseudos intelectuales, por eso me mandan a los curavilleros, por eso me mandan, digamos, a atacar por los medios, por eso me atacan los empresarios prebendarios, porque se acabó la joda. ¿Por qué recrudece el ataque? Porque creían que esto no iba a pasar y se encontraron con un tercio de la población gritando libertad. Gritan libertad. Descubrieron que no quieren ser corderos. Descubrieron que se sienten mejor siendo leones. Porque como dije en mi primer discurso, yo no vine acá a guiar corderos, vine a despertar leones y están despertando y se van a comer crudo a los políticos chorros, se van a comer crudo a los empresarios prebendarios, se van a comer crudo a los sindicalistas que entregan a la gente, se van a comer crudo a los medios de comunicación que fueron funcionales a todos estos chorros para mantener este curro, y se van a llevar puesto a los econochantas, a los encuestólogos y a toda esa basura, ¿sí? Que abogan por la religión del Estado porque curran de ahí. Eso, es decir, Argentina está despertando. Hay luz, sí hay luz, porque la gente está despertando. Descubrió que la esclavitud no es negocio y hay una vida mejor que la vida en libertad. Por eso estás viendo lo que estás viendo. Esto lleva la misma dinámica que una función exponencial y en algún momento hubo un punto de giro y ahora no lo pueden parar. No lo pueden parar. Cuando la función exponencial empezó a crecer, no la podés parar.
Yo, all I could fucking see was Spock that whole fucking time. As soon as he came on, I was like, is this the Starship Enterprise? That's exactly what it looked like. Anyways, also, he really does look like Vivek in Argentina went into a fucking motel with a couple strippers and some cocaine and came out 24 hours later. And he's like, motherfucker.
The symbol of his campaign was a chainsaw. He was running around with a chainsaw as a demonstration of what he was going to do when he got into office.
He's gonna tear that shit down. Argento says I got dibs on the green chick in his cabinet. Does she have an arm missing or wish my rants all came with a soundtrack? I couldn't find one that didn't the music. It's like the running music with
yes.
Oh, I think we lost Eric because he couldn't find his charger.
That guy's based though. We'll see. I wonder if they're gonna kill him. We'll see. He might get assassinated. You never know.
Based on he's H-Man's nephew. Who's H-Man? And then yes, hookers and blow.
Yeah, he gets it. He gets it. Argento? Yeah. That's right from Twitter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets it.
Kevin Inside You is who he is on Twitter, for those who don't know. Okay. So and now Eric doesn't get to say all of his stuff about Javier. So
he'll reset it. That's his internet. He probably just got to reset it.
Oh, okay. So speaking of politicians getting absolutely fucking spanked by their opposition, Trudeau got slammed pretty hard today. I'm going to show this clip real fast.
Ooh, nice.
This Prime Minister has forced 7 million Canadians to cut back on their diet to a point where they are no longer healthy. This Prime Minister has forced Canadians to cut their budget for food, and therefore a record-smashing 2 million people are lined up at a food bank every month around corners in ways that we haven't seen since the Great Depression. That's the austerity he's imposed on Canadians. Now he wants to quadruple the carbon tax on the farmers who bring us our food. We have a common sense conservative bill, C-234. Will the Prime Minister stop blocking this in the Senate, let it pass so that our farmers can produce food and our people can afford to eat it?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if the Leader of the Opposition actually cared about Canadians being able to afford their food, they wouldn't have dragged their heels on the passage of C-56 that is increasing competition in the grocery sector. But indeed, Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of factors that deliver higher food prices, not just for Canadians, for people around the world. And one of the key ones is Russia's continued illegal invasion of Ukraine, Mr. Speaker. On this side of the House, we can affirm clearly that we will stand with Ukraine with everything necessary for as long as necessary. As we saw last week, no conservative politician can say the same in this House.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Actually, we are the only party that has stood with Ukraine, Mr. Speaker. Rather than trying to impose a carbon tax. But, you know, this Prime Minister, I understand what he's doing. He has imposed so much misery here at home, whether by doubling housing costs, forcing people into tent encampments, forcing 2 million people to go to a food bank. These are the problems here at home at the kitchen table. He is so desperate to talk about anything else that he avoids talking about what's happening in our own country. So will he answer the question? Will he take his tax off our farmers so our people can afford to eat?
I think it's funny he stands up and buttons his jacket and then unbuttons it to sit back
Honourable
down.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition full well knows that 97% of fuel emissions in the agricultural sector, in the farming sector, are already exempt from our price on pollution. But he is so desperate to try and score partisan points that he actually refused to stand in support of something Volodymyr Zelensky asked us for in this House. How is the Leader of the Opposition explaining to Ukrainian Canadians right across the country that he no longer stands with Ukraine on things that they need right now to win this war against Russia?
So
they still believe they can win in Canada? Like they don't have the internet? Somebody needs, like Elon needs to go fly his Starlinks over Canada and get those people on fucking planet Earth. That war is fucking over.
Yeah, you're gonna spend your time on the floor. You're gonna allow your opposition to talk about how terrible your policies are for. I don't know if Justin Trudeau knows this or not, but Ukrainians are not voting for the Canadian Prime Minister. And
boy, but that dick is so far down his throat.
God, man. Volodymyr Zelensky asked us for it, so we have to give it to him.
What? Yo, but they're a little behind us, right? Because here's the deal with Canadians. And I lived there for about 6 months up in Dawson Creek, British Columbia. And they are fucking nice. All right. Even when you're fucking rude, they're nice. Yeah. They're just nice. So they don't want to be like, oh my God, if we just give $1, they would get their country back. But y'all need to get on the internet because they ain't winning that shit. Okay. They are fucking you in the asshole with a sticky dick. Trudeau's got a sticky dick with some pine cones on it. And he's fucking you. Rah. As is Biden. Did they don't even get to have guns anymore there?
In Canada?
Yeah, they get like a hunting rifle now.
I think so. Something like that.
this shit's gonna go down. Yo, you can already see it, Heather, right? You can see these elections in different areas. You can see different leaders like Poland going, fuck your migrants and fuck Muslim migrants. Like he said it, like he meant it.
Why can't we get
And Conor McGregor, listen, sorry, really quick. This is what I was gonna say earlier before I forget. Biden's worst nightmare, his whole fucking campaign, is Conor McGregor in Ireland. Because he is gonna broadcast that here.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's gonna be relevant because that dude's got a massive following in the United States of America. Massive. And a lot of those dudes are fucking gym rat, like not really political, but will listen to Conor.
Yeah, I mean, people do put vested interest in political decisions.
Yeah, when you're over like 10 million followers, you're swaying a vote. Or you
Yeah.
have people listen to you.
Mhm.
And he's gonna come out super, they're gonna call it right wing, but super based in common sense.
Argento says Canada isn't even real. It's like Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Fair point. Parliament is fun. I don't want it in America though. I do
No.
like Parliament. I love watching them
Watching
fight.
it, but I don't want to live under it.
It's like a soap opera for me. Like it's all for the stage. Trudeau has an exquisitely punchable face. Just throwing that out there.
God, dude, just like his dad, Castro.
Hard agree. F. Vlad. They're nice. That's why no one will remember their name. Is that what people think about me?
No. Oh no, nice. Because you come nice, but with a point.
Oh, speaking of coming but having a point. Ooh, that probably could have gone in a really bad direction. Hey, Ohio was real at least in 77. Excuse the spelling. Did you go to the doctor? I hope so. Not off-market drugs. So I wanted to show this video. Okay, first I'm going to give just a little bit of I'm not sure if this is parody or not. I don't think it is. I think it's real, which makes it worse. But this is just further proof that I think maybe girls should just learn how to cook and clean and make babies.
Reset with the Tartaria and the mud flood, and they found, because like if you look at DC, like all of those monuments, those were there. We didn't build them in America like they claim we did. When did we build those? We came in the 70s. Yeah. You know, America was
who built those giant monuments?
Right. Where did we get the supplies for that? So
who built the big ass marble statues of fucking Abe Lincoln?
Yeah, who carved it? The Congress buildings.
Who built it? They never say that. They never say, like, oh, the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
they say it was a gift from France. Okay. So France carved a giant copper statue, which nobody could probably replicate today.
Right.
And shipped it over to the U.S.
And for what?
That doesn't even make any sense.
Why do we deserve
Oh, what if that was mom?
I'm saying, like, what if America has a much longer history than we know, and it's not what we're told that it is.
Oh no, yeah,
by any
so
means.
Much.
I mean,
yeah,
it's just weird. It's fucking weird. And I really think that the key to this part of the
number one, Argento definitely has stories about those two specific girls. And they probably weren't that way before that night. That's venom. What in the fuck? Are you trolling me right now, Heather?
No. Okay, look, that's what I'm saying. Like,
are they trolling? Is that real? That's not real.
I don't know. I can't find the original video. I just found that clip, and I just felt like how many more
they were
people
talking
out
about
there
it like it was the fucking Sphinx.
Yes.
The fucking pyramids.
Holy fuck. France carved it out of
Yo,
and for what? And send it over here for what?
Imagine like taking those two girls to the casino, and when you walked out the next day, what you could have them believe. Like, my God.
It's so and I'm just
I don't
sitting
even
there.
know what to say to that.
I
That's not
know.
real. Except
I
for their
watched it
trolling.
today and I was just like, that's not real, right? Like, what's Tartania? And that took me down a whole ass fucking, might as well be fucking QAnon tunnel of retardation, which that's
What
probably
the
a word
fuck
I
did we
shouldn't
just
say.
watch?
Kevin said, was the doctor Hunter Biden? No. What? Stick to waifus. Kids
Wow.
don't do drugs. Wait, what?
For real.
These ladies can't be real talking
No
about
way.
Lincoln and the Statue of Liberty.
No way. Yeah.
I think they are, you guys. That's the problem.
Is the problem us because we don't realize how bad the problem is?
I think it is.
And we let it get out of hand here before
Yes.
we stepped in and said, wait a minute, stop.
Well, and it got me on this whole like train
we
of
had
thought.
ink and feather before 1700. So let's trace back and see. Let's just see if we can figure out who did build these. Maybe there was a book. I don't know. Let's just go. Let's go on a treasure hunt.
Maybe there are pictures.
We can make it fun. Maybe there are pictures.
Yeah. She could be the next Mrs. Argento.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he's already got stories about those two girls specifically.
Maybe if she got multiple sclerosis or something.
I'm sure of it.
That's like my flat earth coworker. Yes, it gave me like a moment of total and complete. It was a black pill moment for me when I found this.
Here's the problem. They're allowed to vote.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
No, Chris, that isn't the issue.
Okay.
The issue is that they have a platform where they can say these things for other impressionable minds to.
Can we get them? Can we find their platform? Because I want to talk to them. We need
I'll
them
have
to come on, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, we probably want them to come on.
I do not want to have that conversation.
Coach is a fifth grade history teacher. We can have him on with us.
A Patriot Sports Radio. That's a Patriot Sports Radio. Have them on there, not on here. I can't do it.
No, yeah.
I'm not capable of it.
We can.
I can't even be nice for 5 minutes.
Give your headphones to Ainsley, and she can help.
Okay.
Them.
Yes, let's do that. I'll have Ainsley as a guest on that show.
That would be fun. Ainsley will host it, called Kindergarten History with Ainsley.
Yeah. Fuck my life, man. Let's see what else I got.
Vote and breed. Yeah, exactly.
2 more things, and then we'll do 2 truths and a lie. First, we always talk about like moral and societal decline on this show, and just kind of like where we are in the state of affairs. So I'm going to show you this clip real fast, and I want your take, Chris, on how you feel about this, like what you think about this. Did you see this today?
Yeah, I've watched it.
Okay, I'm gonna play it through for the audience. Oh, fuck. We gotta go! We gotta go! Okay. So there's a fucking multitude of things to talk about in this video.
Well, this is the simplest, most complex problem that inner cities are facing right now.
Yeah.
And it's simple because we all understand. Well, I know me and you and Eric, if he was here, I think his internet jacked up, but because we're parents, and I'm not doing this sarcastically. I'm going to be really straight and very honest. all children are feral. They're fucking feral. You have to raise them in order to create a civilized human being. But to leave them on their own from birth, they're going to be feral because they'll be in survival mode all the time. Those kids are constantly in survival mode. There's no calm place for them to go and reset at night. There's no calmness in these cities anymore, in the communities. Or from what I've seen on video.
Right.
But there's nobody so now we're generations in to Joe Biden's mass incarceration bill. So for those that don't know, he co-wrote that mass incarceration bill back in the day. And now we're generations into this of ripping the fathers, ripping the homes apart. And we're just about a generation and a half probably behind with Caucasians ripping the family apart. They did it with African Americans very aggressively with the welfare system and the mass incarceration bill. And with Caucasians, I think they worked more with the two-parent have to work, go get taxes, and that's how they got their I was the first generation of latchkey kid to stay after school and really start to be raised by the educational system from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m, where everybody's being boss babe. Those were the first boss babes. They were really got after it. Those were our moms, right?
Yeah.
The boomers. Maybe I got too deep there, but I just think that's a simple part of it. Like we can see that they're feral.
Yeah.
Nobody's raising these children civilized. We can see it. But how do you fix that? That's a whole that's complex.
So I think, and maybe we don't maybe see eye to eye on this video, but I actually so 2 kids got severely injured. I don't know if you guys could see it on the video for anybody who's tuning in to us.
He's got a knife.
So he had a knife and he was stabbing the kids, killed one of them. One of them bled out. You can tell.
He was getting him in the back of the thigh. He was getting that fucking.
Yeah, he's catching that femoral artery on that. So, and then the other one's in critical condition, I think, for loss of blood. But the kid who stabbed those other kids, I don't bear any ill will towards him. He was defending himself from a pack of fucking wolves. And here's where my biggest problem with this video, there's 2 things for me that stood out more than anything. Brawls and fights and things like that happens, okay? It is the pack attack. It is the videoing and the cackling. Like they're all laughing. They're all enjoying it. It's entertainment for the people around them. I don't even know that that's feral, Chris. I think we're getting into like psychopathy or sociopath like type tendencies where.
Yeah, I mean, however it looks, they're not civilized. They have not been raised in a civilized society.
Yeah.
They're generational past that. Their grandparents maybe were.
Then afterwards, the ha 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 ha.
Kevin. Yeah.
That for me, like you just watched 2 kids get stabbed on
but they're in the wild. They're animal, not animal. You know what I mean, though. It's like it's like wild.
Yeah.
It's not civilized. That they're uncolonized. Yeah. That's how they're starting to tribe up. All humans will do that. They'll pick their tribes.
Yeah.
They'll mob up quick. And if you're not in the mob, then you're on the wrong end of it.
Okay, so now you said.
But wolves do that. It's because they're feral. They haven't been raised civilly. I don't know if feral is the right word. Maybe I don't know what that means. But they're uncivilized. I don't know what term I'm looking for.
No, that's what that means. And I think I don't necessarily disagree with the term feral. But I do think that I mean, we talk about right and wrong, right? Like these children know the difference between right and wrong.
How do you know that? At this
Because
age, because this age it looks like high school. So
yeah,
now they're past. They're past the just listening to their moral compass, maybe gone.
right.
I mean, they're watching people die and they're laughing. So their moral compass is now it's non-existent. So how do you know that in their mind they're right or wrong? That they know what right or wrong is, because that is a taught behavior.
Okay, so where did they learn that behavior? If you're saying that that's
That's
nature
survival
versus
behavior.
nurture.
It's all
Do what?
survival behavior.
Argento says, as someone who's almost 2% black, you can call any race feral or animals if they act like feral animals.
Yeah, I'm not. It doesn't matter what race they are.
Yeah.
White people, everybody does it. Every mammal packs up like that and is feral if they have when in a defensive, when they're going to go eat or in a defensive stance. It's normal. Tribes do it too. It's
Chris,
normal.
when you fought as a kid, did
We were
you
civilized.
get a bunch of your buddies to fight for you or with you?
We were civilized. We were not.
So
We were all raised pretty much. We all had guns in our trucks too, and they weren't like hidden. They were
so we're
unwrapped.
getting to what my point is, and here's
Okay.
what I'm trying to make. They didn't learn this behavior from their parents because we didn't have this back then either, right? Like this is not a learned behavior. This is a new behavior.
We would, if our parents just stopped raising us, this is what would have happened. Lord of the Flies. This is it. This is what it looks like. But our parents didn't. They
Do you
raised us.
think that all of those children that participated in that event today have no parents that taught them the difference between right and wrong?
I mean, I'm looking at their actions.
You're
Doesn't look
looking
like
at
it to
their
me.
actions, but you can't take those actions and say that none of those kids have been taught right.
I'm going to
from
say
wrong.
the majority have not been taught right from wrong. The majority in that mass have not been taught that. They have not.
I so wholeheartedly disagree. I think that that's a cop-out. I think that's an opportunity to give these kids an excuse for their behavior. Well, I never got taught right from wrong.
It's not an
So
excuse,
it's okay.
Heather. I'm not talking about them individually right now. I'm talking about what is happening. That's not the only video. This has been happening. It's not the
Right.
only city. It's happening from city to city, all the inner cities. That's not, I'm not talking, yes, they should be held accountable individually. I'm talking about how we know the problem, but maybe we don't. Maybe you disagree. My theory is it's because they haven't been raised to be civil. They haven't been raised. They've been
I think
raised
they haven't
by
been
the streets
disciplined.
and TikTok. And their parents checked out. I think I think a lot of parents checked out.
Yes. I don't
Their
disagree with
friends.
the checking out. I think it's the back end, right? It's the reinforcement, it's the discipline that comes on the back end of this stuff. They are taught right from wrong, but they aren't held accountable for their actions by their parents. If I acted in any way, shape, or form like any of these kids, my dad beat my ass with a belt, right?
So I think I was trying to make that really clear. Not us. Because
Right.
our parents didn't do that. They didn't check out. We
Right.
were raised by our parents. I'm telling you that their parents have checked out, or they're working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And they're just not there. That is a behavior that only would happen in the wild. You see that on the Nature Channel.
Right.
That pack up but we're seeing it all over. All races.
Yeah.
All over the world. Not just here.
I'm gonna go to some of these chats real quick. I blame the mainstream media. The MSM has lost so much credibility People will believe the most outrageous things because there's no longer a viable source of information. Going back to the girls, I don't disagree with you. Speaking of moral decline, quick story time with Kevin. Holy fuck, I don't know that the world is ready for story time with Kevin, but Kevin says, I'd like to say pull your kids out of public schools, but the shit happens at the mall these days too. Their fathers must be ashamed. I had a friend of mine who's blind get 2 glass eyes, and when we were at dinner, I asked if I could reenact the Bill the Butcher scene with a spoon, and she let me.
That's badass.
People at the restaurant were side-eyeing me. I'm like, nothing to see here. Move along. It's the Lord of the Flies. We had fights in schools when I was a kid, but it was 1v1, not these fights where it's 5-on-1, and when one goes down, they try to stomp their head in. They learned it from their parents. It's a lack of learning behavior. Their parents don't raise them. If they do raise, the physical abuse is involved. Raise them, physical abuse is involved.
It's generational. Look, we've been watching this decline happen. And the decline is happening all across America. It's just in the bigger city communities, it started earlier. But we're all right behind it.
If there's
the only thing that can keep us afloat is if, well, one thing that I was curious to talk to you about tonight was just the mathematical side of the population. Conservatives are having kids and liberals aren't. At some point, does that just shift in a major way? Just from a pure numbers perspective, Heather?
From a numbers perspective, yeah. Like you keep having abortions, you keep killing off your offspring, you keep
not marrying and being, it's not cool to be like you had that one. Who's that one comedian?
They can't have children.
That praises not being married or having kids. That one lady, remember her, the actress or comedian, like, but not conservatives. They be popping babies out.
Yeah. This was a really good point, Kevin. If there's a vacuum of order, chaos will fill that void. That's very true.
Yep. Ooh,
and then I have one more video clip. Oh, this will be a good way to like close out before we go to.
You know, on second thought.
So I posted this earlier.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I've got to go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been
hoping that you drop
so
in.
Very nice.
I'll hold your hands.
So you remember they tried to
like
cancel this last year.
Beautiful, what's your hurry?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Listen to the fireplace
so
roar.
really, I'd better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't
well,
hurry.
Maybe just a half a drink more.
Put some records on while I pour.
The neighbors might
But baby, it's bad out there.
Say, what's in this
No
drink?
cabs to be had out there.
I wish I knew how.
Your eyes are like stars
to
right now.
break this spell.
I'll take your hat. Your hair looks swell.
I ought to say no, no, no.
Mind
sir.
if I move in closer?
At least I'm gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my pride?
I really can't.
Oh, baby,
say.
don't hold out, baby.
Oh, but
it's cold
outside.
Okay. So when I posted this earlier, you made a comment. You were like, the good old days. You said there's like 207 like legal violations that'll come like 20 years later. So that same girl who kind of gave in and whatever, will file a sexual assault charge, 20 years down the road. Well, I didn't actually want to stay with him or whatever. So how did, like, when I see this from an artistic perspective, right? The film itself, what's captured in that very small little clip is the chase and the feigned disinterest and then the oh please and then okay fine, like the typical like courting romance type situation. I see nothing wrong with that entire clip, but many people do. They have a really hard time with it. And I'm curious, how we got so far away from that to where even like when you were joking, but it's not a joke anymore. Like that shit does happen.
100%. Yeah, she said no like 37 times. She's trying to put her clothes on. He undressed her. Like that was some Harvey Weinstein shit going on.
Right.
And that shit was celebrated.
Yeah. How did we get
Boy, I don't know how we got here. I don't. That is straight up the frog in the boiling water shit. I don't know how we got, but watching that and then watching like today, it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, it even got way worse in the 80s. I mean, go flip on Married with Children. Hang out for a little bit. Which I love. It's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
South Park's still getting it though.
I would be interested to show that clip to Ainsley because I haven't done that yet and see just from like a young lady's perspective that has had no influence or nobody telling her that video is bad, how she feels about it. Because, and the reason that I brought this up, Ainsley and I watched Pride and Prejudice together. I guess it's been about 2 weeks ago. And, it speaks in proper English, so it was difficult for her to understand the language a couple times. So she'd be like, what does that word mean? Or what does that mean? But overall, like body language and all of that, you can kind of get all of that. And she just thought that was just very magical. So I'd be really interested to see like how she perceives this scene.
What's Pride and Prejudice? Is that like a Tupac Shakur movie or something?
Yep. It's like
Basketball
East Side,
Diaries.
West Side. 100%. That's exactly what it was.
What is it?
It's a Jane Austen novel and that has been made into a film. It's really good. You should watch it with the girls. It's great.
No.
It will become one of your favorite chick flicks. Promise.
If I just like it if it actually happened. Or it needs to be like funny with Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Nope. It's not funny. Well, it's funny in some ways, but it's very English proper. No. Context is everything. Liberals know nothing of nuance.
Oh
okay.
my God, dude. I can't even with you're right. That's exactly right.
All right.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh, no, you can't.
So, for those tuning in for the first time tonight, this is a segment that we do on every Patriots and Petticoats called Two Truths and a Lie, where I give you 3 articles. 2 of them are true, 1 of them is not true, and you have to determine which story is the lie. Now, I've tried really hard to do better this week. We'll see how I do. Oftentimes my writing gives me away, but we're going to try it. However, I'm going to get my mom finger out because there's quite a few of you newbies in here this week. Do not cheat and Google the answer. It's way more fun if you play along and try to guess on your own. Okay. Story number 1. In a surprising turn of events for urban development in London, construction workers excavating for a new high-rise building claim to have uncovered the remnants of an ancient theater dating back to the 18th century. The discovery made beneath the bustling streets of downtown includes remarkably preserved architectural features such as ornate columns, intricately carved seat placements, and a stage that hints at the former grandeur. Archaeologists on site believe the theater may have been a cultural hub in the city's early days. That's story number 1. Story number 2. In an experiment, 9 musicians played the Blue Danube Waltz and other selections while farmhands milked 61 Jerseys and Holsteins. The result? The music calmed the nerves of the cows and their udders let down all the milk in them. Also, the milk tasted better and had a more happy effect upon the drinkers than the milk served, which had not been music impregnated. Why aren't the upscale food stores of today, like Whole Foods, selling music impregnated milk? I'm sure there are people who would spend extra money for it. Story number 3. With the unenviable distinction of being the longest confined convict, Charles Gilbert died in the state prison where he had lived for 48 years, protesting, as always. Oop. Good night, buddy. I love you. Mwah. Have sweet dreams, okay?
Okay.
Sorry. At the state prison where he had lived 48 years, protesting that he was innocent, asserting that he had, since his death of his father years ago, that his father was in fact guilty of the murder of Henry Caldwell. The clergyman who also attended on his deathbed announced that his father made a dying confession. However, he donated his brain to science, saying that if I had committed the murder, the action would have been stamped on my brain. Which story is the lie?
Man, Musical Cows, sis, was really well written, but you really changed some of your words this time that I would have normally picked out.
Kevin says story 1. Jake says
But, I
story
mean-
3. Tex says story 2. I love it.
Somebody fucking first. I mean, it's so believable though in 2023 musical. Of course they do. But I feel like in Wisconsin, I would know that if that was real, unless it was like Germany. I gotta go with number 1. I gotta go with number 1. Fox. It's Fugazi. It's number 1.
Number 1. Do you remember which story was number 1?
Yeah. It was the fucking underground theater.
Yes. Music cures everything. Argento said, I thought this was an ad. What? You thought what was an ad? The answer. Oh, and Eric's not here, so you automatically get the point. It's story number 1.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the best written. But the Musical Cows, I'm like, it almost had me, Heather, because I'm like, but I should have heard about that here in Wisconsin.
Musical Cows is real.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I should have heard about that.
Yeah. Well, it's from 1910, so that's why you
Never mind.
haven't heard about it.
You even went
Kevin,
way back when
actually,
maybe-
so I keep track. Just so you know, since this is your first time playing, I keep track of the points. So each time, and then over a quarter, we have winners. Joey was our winner last quarter, which I still have not gotten him his prize. He's probably mad about that, but I'm
Let's
working on
get
a
it.
cup for him, so I was going to send them
Okay.
both at the same time.
Okay.
So
yeah, you win a prize.
yes, you win a prize at the end of the quarter if you have the most correct answers. Argento, you have to actually participate. And I cannot do a story about you. I couldn't even come close to. I should just have Argento write my 2 truths and a lie from now on.
That would fuck me up. I got a good beat on it right now. Like I'm breaking the book on this.
Argento says 5. I can tell you're on meds right now, bro.
I
Okay,
am.
that is the end of our show this evening. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you guys. Thank you to everybody over on Rumble. Oh, I apologize. Okay, so shit. There are people who are talking over there, so I'm going to go back real fast. Fuck Canada, soft-ass British colony. I'm already subscribed to those chicks. Oh my God, I need you to tell me who they are, Patriot. Herd mentality, it's spiritual warfare without God. They have no spiritual armor. I think there was some that just went with the group. Yes, no discipline, no accountability. Absolutely. She's about to catch the wrath of Khan. I'm going to cheat. Fair warning. Lodestorm says number 2, smooth music and sweat talk works on women, so why wouldn't it work on milk cows? Number 1 is fake. True, but happy milk. Happy milk. Heck yeah. I drink happy milk. Thank you, Tex. You guys are fantastic. Argento, you win nothing. I love you, though. You guys take care and have a wonderful evening. We will be back next week.